This is my first blog in English. It is named after Korogli, which I guess was Azerbaijani chap. Go that direction, and it's where Asureti is located. Let's have a look on beautiful Kojori fortress and the trail. And it looks like a small church is on behind the hill. And here is a small waterfall, and apparently there is generator, maybe Georgian version of Stonehenge. Here at the top is Korogli. Yes, it's for sure, it's that one. Oh, holy cow, it seems there is a lake. Yeah, sometimes you think that you know everything in your country and it turns out some hidden gem like this one. I wasn't aware of this lake at all. This is the first building that I saw when I entered Asureti from Kojori side. In the past, Germans used to have a bus here. And here at Schwabenstrasse we have this beautiful cathedral. I'm glad that it was restored. In the past it didn't have a spire. It reminds you a true German spirit, and most of the houses were like this. Unfortunately they were destroyed. This is my first blog in English about the highlights around Tbilisi, and we are in Kojori, and we're gonna do a hike to other side of the bridge towards former German settlement, which was called I can't remember exactly. It was Elisabetental, but now it's called Asureti. To make things more easily understandable, I decided to include the map. I looked on Google, and unfortunately it did not have the direct link to Asureti, so I checked it on maps.me application, and it had an excellent track towards this former German settlement. This is how it looks like. It starts at the end of Kojori, continues to Citadel, and from there it goes down towards Asureti. I'd like to say a couple of words about the highlights which we're gonna skip and which I visited yesterday. If you see over there, it's a church. It's called 40 Martyrs Church. Nice location for hiking. It looks old, but it's not so old. It was renovated recently. And if one goes to the left side, there are actually two towers which was visit. One is in Tanganeti, which is Tanganeti Tower. The second is Vashlovani Tower. Both are interesting to see, but this time we don't go this direction, but we go that direction, and it's where Asureti is located. We finally managed to get out at a place where we have quite a beautiful view. Here it goes. Now it's time to go. So we are coming out somewhere, and it looks like a small church is not on the top, but somewhere quite high in the hill. It's definitely not a German heritage. It's most probably edifice belonging to the Georgian Orthodox Church. And here is a river. So apparently we have to cross that river, and we will. but the road is quite steep and snowy, and hopefully we won't fall down. We go down. It's quite beautiful. Apparently I somewhere missed the fork, and this is where the road goes if one follows maps me. So we decided to do a shortcut apparently, and now we have to cross that river. First we have to go down the snow, and hopefully we will do it. So up until now the walk was great, but the problem is not the steep descent, but the mud. You see? Oops. It's always good to walk in the snow, because this allows you to have some friction and to stand stable on the ground. But once you go on this semi-dry land, it's really pain in the back. So here's another open space, and I wonder from where I came. I can't remember this transmission line. I guess I came from somewhere else, but whatever the case, or did I come from there? I can't remember. Most probably no. And here at the top is Korogli. Yes, it's for sure, it's that one. Oh, holy cow. It seems there is a lake. I didn't know there was a lake. Interesting. So we'll go there as well. Yeah, sometimes you think that you know everything in your country, and it turns out some hidden gem like this one. I wasn't aware of this lake at all. I've never heard, I've never seen, and suddenly discovered through this hiking. And here's the road indications, and apparently this small church that we saw, it was Kabeni Monastery. It's a pity that I didn't go. This is the first side that I noticed, and while from outside it looks Georgian Soviet style, from the top I still believe this was the house that in the past belonged to Germans. Yeah, interesting what was here. Yeah, I mean, I know what was here years ago. We are approaching the village. It's still far, but from here it's possible to see the spire of a German church that was recently refurbished and reconstructed. I can't wait to see that. Here it goes. This is the first building that I saw when I entered Asureti from Kojori side. As I was told, this is a former bus house, and in the past Germans used to have a bus here. No one is living here now. Yes, here's some signs indicating what was here. As I was told, someone purchased it, but neither he is selling or repairing it as usual. And here at Schwabenstrasse we have this beautiful cathedral. I'm glad that it was restored. In the past it didn't have a spire, but a year ago, contrary to real expectations from my side towards this government, they restored it, and kudos to them. Very good job. And here again are the houses that look really beautiful and remind us of the German heritage who lived here, who produced wine, and then afterwards had to leave the country, and their houses and goods taken over by the Georgians. Yeah, very sad story. And this is the only real German house the way I'm accustomed to see in Germany, and most probably because, you know, this is the guy who lives there. He is half German, who was able, look at this house, how it looks like and how it looks like here. It reminds you a true German spirit, and most of the houses were like this. Unfortunately they were destroyed and or look like they look now. Yes, this guy's name is Manfred Tikhonov, and I really wanted to meet him, but it's, first of all, it's quite late now and I need to get back.
I'll say a couple of words about the history of German migration. It goes back to the Russian Empire, Empress Katherine II, who invited Germans to settle in vast new territories of the Russian Empire. Her initiative was continued by Alexander I, and following this initiative, German migrants began to move to Georgia, and the first colonies were established in 1818. Elisabetental, now Asureti, was one of such settlements, and it shall be noted that by 1940 some 20,000 Germans lived in 20 different towns of Georgia. By the way, ancestors of Alliluyeva, who was Stalin's last wife who killed herself, had German origins, and they were coming from here. Mentioned, all Germans, save those who were married to non-Georgians, were deported to Central Asia in 1941 and in 1942, and Georgians from other parts were brought here. Germans in those years were not popular among the new settlers, and it is not surprising that as time passed, almost none of those deported came back. Those who stayed either assimilated or moved away. It is very sad. Asureti, which is located at the foothills of Kojori Ridge, managed to retain German heritage more than any other settlement in this part of Georgia. And we see some of the pictures that I took of houses. In addition to that, among the sites that is worth visiting are the church that I also visited, and two more sites which I skipped because I didn't have time. This is the winery Shala and also the German cemetery. This is it among the highlights, and hope you will have a better time management when you visit the site and manage to see all the highlights of this settlement.
The trip is over and I'm returning home. I was lucky to get hitchhiked back home. A nice chap stopped by, and he's bringing me to Tbilisi. From Tbilisi I will go by taxi to Kojori. Anyways, the trip was excellent, and the reasons that I have not seen these highlights, all the highlights, gives me a stimulus to visit them again in the future. Cheers.